What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for my last video while on vacation, before I get back later on this week and start covering everything else that we've been missing, we're going to be jumping into Suicide Squad issue number 6. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with the Infinite Frontier Suicide Squad, go ahead and check out the link in the description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on with this line. And speaking of the Suicide Squad, I hope all of you got the opportunity to go ahead and check that out. James Gunn did a phenomenal job in really bringing those characters to life. While I am also a huge fan of the original Suicide Squad that we saw with Will Smith and everything else, this one is just a great addition to what DC can and has the potential to do. Now, in the last issues of Suicide Squad, we saw Bloodsport making his way to Earth 3, trying to kidnap Earth 3's Black Canary and bring her back for Amanda Waller's new Suicide Squad. He ends up getting entangled with Ultraman. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we dive into issue number 6, we're picking up with some inner monologue from Amanda Waller, because she's been sending Bloodsport to different Earths along the multiverse for quite some time now, trying to find suitable candidates for her Suicide Squad. Individuals like Black Siren, which is the Earth 3 Black Canary. But with Bloodsport getting a little bit sloppy, he ends up being held hostage by Ultraman after using a crap ton of kryptonite on him, which is only like freaking energy for him, like steroids. And now he is fiending for some more. And because of that, he is holding him hostage, waiting for more individuals to make their way to Earth 3 and try to rescue him, hoping and believing that they're gonna come with more kryptonite to try to use that as a weapon. But aside from all of that, Amanda Waller, she learned a very important thing. She learned that Earth 3 was in need of heroes. Now, for those of you that followed my Future State videos, or you read Future State yourself, we definitely talked all about this because we know how this ends. We know exactly where this story goes. Amanda Waller, at the end of the day, she is trying to create her own Justice League. That is the end game here, and Earth 3 is the prime candidate for that. It is an Earth that needs saving, an Earth that needs some true heroes. Because Ultraman and all of them, while Ultraman may have all of the powers of Superman, he's an evil version. Not necessarily evil, but he does things the way he wants. He may want to save you one day, the other day he may let you die. And he's very selfish, very self-centered individual, very ego-driven individual. All the worst traits that a superhero could have, he exhibits them to the max. But nonetheless, Amanda Waller, she needs Bloodsport back. Not only that, she wants Black Siren. And so she sends the rest of her team after Night Terror, an individual that more or less can phase through walls. And so we see Connor Kent and the rest of Task Force X making their way to her and taking her out, bringing her back to Waller and using her for whatever experiment she needs to be able to get all of them to Earth 3. Now, of course, Superboy, he has questions about all of this, on how the teleportation works, and exactly what they want with Night Terror, giving her off to a doctor and telling the doctor that she has 1 hour to come up with whatever Amanda Waller needs her to do. They're very vague in it. They don't really let us know what Amanda Waller is planning, because at the end of the day, Amanda Waller, she's gonna do exactly what needs to be done, regardless of how many people need to die, as long as she's preserving the overall majority of individuals. Now, the thing about Superboy, he doesn't really have his memory. He doesn't remember a lot of how he got here, how Amanda Waller ended up tricking him to come here. But she continuously holds it over his head that he is going to comply or he is going to die. And with him not knowing, not being 100% sure on if that is a bluff or if that is the truth, he is not willing to risk it. And so, for the time being, he is playing along. Now, Amanda Waller, she has huge plans for him. And I think at the end of the day, what Amanda Waller does with him is absolutely amazing. It's something I did not expect, but it's really everything that Connor Kent deserves. The question is, can we forgive Amanda Waller for everything that she is doing to be able to get us to that point? Now, this is when Amanda Waller checks in with Peacemaker, because Peacemaker and a bunch of D-list individuals have made their way trying to track down the Swamp Thing, because Amanda Waller really wants to add this to her more or less collection of villains and anti-heroes and metahumans alike. But that's not the only reason she's observing this, because she is 100% certain that Peacemaker is the one that released Flag from his prison hold. And because of that, she is now questioning his loyalty, seeing if he is even trustworthy to run any more important missions outside of this one that's completely suicidal to begin with, because you're going against the freaking Swamp Thing. But at the end of the day, she is willing to do whatever it takes. Whatever the cost, she is willing to pay them. She is willing to let anybody pay them, because at the end of the day, she believes she is doing what is absolutely necessary to help people. Now, with our scientists coming back, they created a type of wristband that's going to allow them to go to Earth 3 and operate on that frequency without their brains being freaking scrambled. And we can only assume that the scientists went through very Nazi-like means to be able to create this. And of course, nobody is going to ask the questions, because Amanda Waller is not going to give them the time. Throwing on these wristbands, they are told they have an hour to locate Bloodsport, to locate Black Siren, and return back to the portal in time. And so with the portal opening up, they arrive in Metropolis, Earth 3. And looking around this place, it looks so familiar to them, because this is almost a replica of where they come from. It looks so much like home to them. Now, before they really get into anything, they stop and have a conversation, because Red X told them a lot of stuff. And they need to discuss it, because it's important information about Amanda Waller. And as it stands, Connor's brain, it really is a mess right now. Even trying to read his mind, it's nothing but a cloudy image. And Superboy has no memory of how Amanda Waller got him here. And this really worries him. It worries everybody, because Amanda Waller, no matter what, at the end of the day, manipulating people in this manner, it's going to make them question everything. But while they're sitting here discussing all of this information, Superboy feels something heading their way, telling everybody to get down. This is where we see the arrival of Ultraman. And Ultraman wastes no time laying waste to all of these guys, burning to a crisp the half-tree, half-mutant. We see Connor trying to go toe-to-toe with Ultraman, and the only thing Ultraman caring about right now is where he can get some of that delicious kryptonite. Who is going to tell him where he can get it? Who is going to give it to him? But what Ultraman didn't know is part of the team had broken off. They had broken off to go rescue Bloodsport and Black Siren. With them making their arrival, this gives them a small advantage, gives them a little bit of an upper hand. It distracts Ultraman long enough for everybody to try to make their escape. Connor going ahead and staying behind and going toe to toe. And so what we are seeing is Ultraman versus Superboy. And at first, Ultraman, he's getting the upper hand. He is beating the crap out of Connor. And it doesn't look like Connor's going to be able to stand a chance. But we see Superboy flip the script, and he starts laying into Ultraman. He starts laying into him so much, it doesn't look like he's about to stop. He keeps going and going and going. And cutting over to Amanda Waller, we're finding out that, he has some kind of medication. We've known this for a little bit now, that Amanda Waller has him on a medication. And with his energy levels spiking like this, with his vitals going off the charts, he's going to need another dose very quickly. So Amanda Waller is trying to force him, trying to make him come. But this is when Amanda Waller, she's told, not everybody needs a bomb in their head to comply. And so Amanda Waller, she gets it. She appeals to Superboy how she actually needs to, saying that he is right, that he doesn't kill, he doesn't need to kill, and that's not who he is. Because at the end of the day, he is Superboy. No matter him being a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, he is Superboy. He has Superman's DNA inside of his body. And with him stopping, Ultraman's able to get a punch in. But Connor, he makes his escape, taking off to the portal and making it just in time. It closes and Ultraman is unable to get through. And that portal, it brought them to somewhere in Russia. And Amanda Waller tells them that there's no time to explain where they are or why they are there, telling them that there is a bunker directly beneath them. And Superboy, he needs his medicine and he needs it now. But at this point, Superboy, he is getting livid. And he tells her straight up that I don't need medicine. I need freaking answers and I need them now. But this is when we hear the voice of Superboy, of a second Superboy. Superboy dressing up like back in the Young Titans, before he got this clean cut look when he joined the Teen Titans back in the comics. We are seeing Kon-El, and that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, that huge twist at the end, seeing yet another Superboy, that's gonna be very interesting. You know, there's so many possibilities now with the Infinite Frontier here. We're seeing, you know, the New 52, we're seeing Rebirth, we're seeing the Golden Age, we're seeing the Silver Age, we're seeing everything coming together. So the possibility of there being two different Superboys here on the same Earth is not completely unheard of. And another thing we saw is Connor really showing his potential as he's fighting Ultraman, showing that he can take on somebody that strong. Because if he can take on Ultraman, if he can defeat Ultraman, he could one day wear the mantle of Superman. Maybe not for Earth Prime, but maybe for Earth 3. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And until the next breakdown.